Hey everybody, welcome to Dad Talk. Today we are live at CPAC 2021 in Dallas, Texas, and I am sitting here with Mr. Matt Gaetz. Matt, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So let's talk a little bit of Dad Talk. We was talking a little bit, and you was telling me about some of your story. You have a son that you was telling me the story
That's
about.
right. The light of my life is a young man named Nestor. He came to Florida from Cuba when he was only 12 years old. He waited 8 years to get his legal visa to come to our country, and sadly, 10 days after he arrived, his mother died. And so he was a stranger in a strange land, didn't speak English, but for the last 8 years, I've been raising him as my son, and we're as close can be. I can't imagine loving anyone more if they were my own blood. And it's really created, I think, a real kinship with me and people who have step-parent relationships where, you love a young person, you're so invested in their success, and you would never view them differently simply because you don't share DNA, because family's so much more important than that.
What was that like for you when you first adopted him and getting used to playing that parental role?
I was 29 years old, and I really think God just had a plan for me to be more invested in the next generation. And when you are able to see our country through the eyes of a young person, it is always inspiring for us, to be the best version of ourselves. People have said to me that it was a generous thing I did, taking in this young boy and raising him, but the reality is I've gotten so much more out of it as a parent than I've ever put into it, because you grow a lot when you are able to, convey your values and then see how they're reflected in another human being.
So you adopted your son, and you said his mother died.
Yeah.
So how does that make you feel, stepping into this child's life and seeing how important of a role that is, but finding out that we have the fatherless epidemic that we have in this country right now?
I think every young person needs a mother and a father. And sadly, there are far too many in our country who don't. And we need men to be men. Right. To step up and be dads. And I'm sorry if that's politically incorrect to say, but it is just the truth. There are certain absolute truths that we cannot escape, and the notion of, family and provision and love and unity, those are things that not only build strong families, they build strong communities and ultimately build a strong country. And what I see from the political left right now really is an effort to attack the American family, to say that our gender, our bounds to one another don't really matter as much. And I'm certainly hopeful that we are able to reset as a country alongside the values that made this country great.
I think the left has really targeted fathers, and you talk about men stepping up. One angle that's not talked about as much is how the family courts play into that. Divorce court is a $55 billion a year industry. It would not be a $55 billion a year industry if men weren't stepping up trying to be in their children's lives. Unfortunately, they're getting inside of this court system, and it's so biased. I've seen where mom can be on drugs, she's leaving the kids at home, all kinds of things, and the dads still cannot be in their lives. I'm curious, is there any ideas or solutions that we can really start to bring some awareness on this subject?
Well, a lot of that legislation happens at the state level, and I served on the Judiciary Committee in the Florida House of Representatives, and so I saw groups try to come forward and streamline the process so that parents who want to be active and involved have that opportunity. But you hit the nail on the head in your lead. It's about the money. There are people who get rich based on the divisions created within families and based on the desire to litigate rather than resolve things in the best interest of children and, frankly, in the best interest of society, where you have the contributions of both moms and dads. So I think that it's another issue where the special interests have overcome common sense.
Right.
And hopefully we're able to get more state legislators to create a process that focuses on the family as the principal value premise, not how much money lawyers can get out of it. And I say that as a lawyer.
I got you, and I know the former governor, DeSantis, I think is doing an amazing job, but the former governor, they had legislation that went in 2016 and 18, all the way through to the governor, that would give equality upon divorce to mom and dad, and he vetoed it.
I was so angry at Rick Scott when he vetoed the reforms in family law that were passed with bipartisan majorities in the Florida legislature. And the presumption in that law that I supported so strongly was, let's start out with the notion of 50-50. Mom and dad 50-50, that is the presumption. Now, if there's evidence that will rebut that presumption, of course the court could make a change. But that fairness, I think, has been lost in so much of the litigation around this issue. And Rick Scott should have signed the bill the first time. He should have signed the bill the second time, and I'm disappointed he didn't. And I'm an ally of Rick Scott. I like Rick Scott. We've worked together on issues, but certainly this was one where I think he made the wrong call, not once, but twice.
Absolutely, man. I mean, any ideas or solutions for the parents that would like to see that move forward? Now that they've got it up there, I think what happens, they fight so hard and then they lose hope. Do you think that's something that we could get rolling again in the state of Florida?
Well, I'm always hopeful that in Florida we will put common sense first. The legislature did that twice, and Rick Scott vetoed the bill. I don't know that Governor DeSantis has spoken out about it, but for folks who care about it, I think the state legislature provides a great platform for activism.
Yeah, man. And for anybody out there that maybe they can't have a kids or for some reason they're thinking about adoption, what could you say to them?
Look, there is a love that you can build in a family that is in no way related to the DNA you share or the blood you share. It is about the experiences. Parenting is about providing that comfort and that care and really the nurturing that society requires. The greatest thing I've done in my life was not serving in the state legislature. It hadn't been getting elected to Congress. It's been being a parent to Nestor. And it's just something I enjoy every day, and I would hope that everyone would be able to share in that kind of love in their own lives.
There you go. Matt,
thanks for having me.
Thank you, my man.
What a cool topic. I mean, normally you just come to these political events and you get to talk about political issues, but this is a real substantive family issue. And as CPAC is out there trying to define policy issues that really matter to Americans, what better to put forward than pro-family policies?
Well, everything begins and ends with the family. And if we can keep family and God though focus, I believe we can put this country back together better than ever before.
Hey, amen to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. See you guys.